Chapter 21. Fasts and Tortures.
The fast began. Then for some time they felt a little disturbed and came every now and then with proposals and threats. They brought some typed copies of applications written on our behalf to the Punjab government and asked us to sign them. Thus they tried to give us the false assurance that something was being done for us. But we were not so soft and ignorant as to be easily fooled by their hypocritical assurances. But it is quite possible that they forged our signatures and sent those applications to the higher authorities.
My fast began. We were immediately separated from each other. What happened to him after this, I do not know. The IG prisons came. Like one who is bewildered, he did not listen to anything I had to say, but kept on harping that the political privileges have been eliminated, and now there were only two classes, special and ordinary. If I wanted special class, I should put up an application, otherwise I would be treated as an ordinary prisoner. I told him that I was not prepared to put up the type of application he wanted, nor did I ask for any special class. All I asked for was that I should be given the facilities and treatment which my history ticket showed was given in the last prison. The terms recorded on my history ticket had become the rules for us. He then went away.
He came again when the superintendent was treating us with savage brutality by using force for all his malignant ends. So when he came near me, I told him sternly, "This superintendent of yours has now stooped to the most tyrannical methods of using force and insulting and humiliating me. I consider it my duty to tell you frankly and firmly that I am a disciple of Guru Gobind Singh and not of Mahatma Gandhi, who would stick to nonviolence even under extreme humiliation. We have been taught by the Guru to give up nonviolence when a person's faith and religious ideals are subjected to insult and humiliation through force and violence. For the protection of the sacred principles of our faith, when nonviolence fails, we would not die like cowards. It is not violent to prevent, with all the power at your disposal, the tyrants from carrying out their evil designs, or to prevent the godless and brutal people from causing injury to the faith and freedom of man. So if any white man or Indian of your department uses force against me to insult and cause injury to my religious sentiments and principles, I will fight back. Do not think that I will not be able to defend myself, because I have been fasting since many days."
A hungry lion becomes very desperate when someone annoys it, even if the lion is in a cage.
On hearing this, the IG prison gave me assurance that no force would be used against me, but the prison officials were bent upon doing the worst. Who could prevent them? After a day or two, they started the mischief.
Force feeding of beef soup. After this, many terrible things happened. In many ways, they came again and again to use force and cause all types of physical injury. Many times, the jail authorities came with a number of their warders and servants, but as soon as they tried to hold me by force, I pushed them back. No one dared to come close or to grapple with me alone. The heroic fire of the Khalsa, even though starving, created a terror in the minds of all. One day, the jailer, Mr. Wigg, an Englishman, came with all his staff and started shouting at me and threatened to give enema by force. I told him he had no right to do such a thing, and I would not let him do such a thing. I had not taken anything for many weeks and had no constipation. Where was the necessity for me to have enema? I had not even taken a drop of water for many days. What was the purpose of giving me enema? If I suffered from constipation, I could accept the advice of a doctor. Enema is given when the medicine of doctor fails to work. Why are you forcibly giving me an enema? You are not a physician, I said.
Jailer Whiteman, we have been ordered by the superintendent to give you enema by force. I try then to use force. I am prepared to fight back, and I will not submit like a coward.
Jailer, I have so many men while you are all alone. What can you do?
I just try to use force and see what I do. You will have a taste of it in a minute.
On hearing this challenge from me, they all moved forward to overpower me. When 5 or 6 men tried to pounce on me, I threw them back. Frightened and yet forced to beat me down, they came forward again. All alone, I let them right and left. In this struggle, some got a blow on the jaws. Some were hit on the chest or stomach. Some had a bruised shoulder. Their caps and hats rolled on the ground. Some were thrown against the wall or on the puka floor. They soon lost their breath and attempted again and again to pounce on me. The Hindu babus had to keep a hand on the dhotis, which were loosened in every struggle. The Englishmen would begin to dust their pants every time they fell back on the floor. The jailer's face was red with rage, and he was trembling with fear and fury. Everyone was exhausted and hit badly. After they found that they could never overpower me, they went away. I, the one and lone Khalsa, inspired by Guru Gobind Singh to face even a lack of opponents, stood there unharmed.
Then they brought all the jail warders and all the criminal prisoners. No babu or officer joined the gang that was sent to overpower me. The prisoners were forced to jump on me and overpower me. "Why do you send these poor people to fight me?" I said. "Why don't you come forward? You first got your staff badly beaten and bit, and now you want these poor people to face me." All the prisoners, the prison lambardars, lowered their heads with shame and fear. Some folded their hands from a distance, begging forgiveness for being forced to attack me. The jailer ordered them to catch hold of me and force them to lie down flat on the floor. But everyone stood silently without moving. They neither spoke nor obeyed the orders. When he scolded them and ordered them to move forward, a Rajput warder said, "Sir, he is only a saintly patriot. He is here in the prison for the freedom of our country. He has done you no harm. What offense has he committed for which he is unnecessarily tortured? Do you not know that the course of harming such a man may bring ruin on you all? None of us dare to raise our finger against him." Jailer, roaring with rage, "What? Will you disobey my orders? You will be deprived of your uniform and be severely punished. You will be locked up in a dark cell." Rajput warder, taking off his uniform and throwing it near the feet of the jailer. "Here, take your uniform and give me whatever punishment you like. You can even lock me up in a dungeon. I am not afraid of anything. To me, punishment will not be greater and more painful than the curse of this saint. I cannot tolerate this saint patriot being insulted and attacked in this manner. No other warder will help you in this manner. We are kept here for the protection of the prisoners, and not to treat them in such a brutal manner." The jailer ordered that this man, whose name was Dugar Singh, should be immediately deprived of his uniform and position as the warder. He did so to frighten other warders and coerce them to use force against me. But not a single man was prepared to obey his order. He then turned his rage and threats against the prison warders and immediately took steps to punish some of them. At last, feeling himself helpless in that strange situation, he went away. For the 3rd time, the jailer came with a doctor, who was ordered by the superintendent to give enema. The doctor moved a few steps towards me, but when I sharply asked him to keep away from me, he stepped back and stood at a distance. He did not wish to come into grips with me. The jailer ordered him angrily to go ahead.
"Doctor,
You have not been able to hold him for a minute with the help of the whole of your staff and warders. How do you expect me to handle him and do it all alone? It is my duty to give him enema, but only with his consent and not against his wishes, by force. My profession does not permit me to do such a thing by force.
Then you should explain to him that according to the requirement of his health, you, as a doctor, advise him to take enema. Doctor, addressing me, Sardar Sahib, what is the harm in taking enema?
I do not have any constipation. I have not taken anything for weeks. Why should I take enema?
Doctor, our superintendent, who is also the chief medical officer, thinks that to maintain your health, it is essential for you to take enema.
What is it that is compelling them to have it done now and now only?
Doctor, the fact is that they have ordered force feeding, and it is necessary to give enema before trying force feeding. Can you say on oath that giving enema is absolutely essential before resorting to force feeding? Do the medical rules say so?
Doctor, whispering in my ears, actually, they want to insult you and humiliate you in this way. The jailer was standing at some distance. Why don't you take enema with your own hands? I will explain to you how it is done. Whispering and touching my feet humbly. For God's sake, save me from this trouble. Please accept my request.
You have made the request in such a way that I cannot refuse it. Now please explain to me how it is done.
Doctor, after explaining, now we leave you alone. Do anything you like. The superintendent should get the impression that you have taken enema.
Within 15 minutes, I got rid of everything. What happened after that has already been described in letters written earlier. I quote the letters here. Letter, January 1923. Letter number 17.
On arrival here, our history tickets were examined, and we were given all facilities about dress and food which had been sanctioned in the previous jail. Bhai Kartar Singh and I are staying in the same barrack. The day we arrived, the superintendent was not here. He was on leave. He came after 5 or 6 days. As soon as he resumed duty, he started taking extreme steps to annoy us. The first order he sent to the prisoners was that all should stand up when he came to the prison barracks and keep standing with our hands spread out like beggars. We were also ordered to keep our faces raised up while saluting him. He threatened to give us severe punishment if we did not obey this order.
We told him that we would never spread out our hands like beggars before anyone except God, no matter what punishment he ordered for disobeying such humiliating orders. We asked him to show us the prison rules and laws which authorized him to give such orders. When he was exasperated by his futile attempts to cow us down, he started writing against us to the higher authorities. On December 30th, 1922, he called me in his office and issued orders that all facilities given to me to prepare my own food had been withdrawn, and I would be given the same barley bread prepared in the common kitchen, which was given to the ordinary prisoners. I requested him to hold on his orders for a few days and permit me to write to the higher authorities. As political prisoners, we were entitled to all such facilities and rights which were given to me on no religious grounds. I told him that I had been getting these facilities all these years, and there was no reason why they should be withdrawn without any rhyme or reason. I requested him to permit us to appeal to the higher authorities. Until the reply to our appeal was received, we should be contented with simple food cooked by our own hands. But he refused to listen to anything and immediately issued stern orders.
All our prayer books, clothes, including turbans, were forcibly taken away from us.
He even took away our shoes. Only underwears, kach, was all that we had on our bodies.
The second underwear was also taken away from us. So the fast began. For about 10 days I was allowed to live undisturbed in my cell. Then an Englishman named Big was especially posted to harass and torture me. He was given full powers to do whatever he liked. It is difficult to relate all the cruel ways he adopted to torture me. I endured everything silently, with my mind fixed on God. He now started annoying and tormenting me every moment and threatened to inflict gruesome affliction.
I remained silent. I never spoke to him nor answered any of his threats. He tried to force bread into my mouth, but I pushed him away and did not allow him to come near me. He abused and cursed me in the filthiest language possible. One day he came near me and tried to hold me by my hair, but I stepped back, and though he used violence, I did not allow him to touch my hair. He wanted to beat me, and although I was weak, I did not allow him to come near me. He pushed me against the wall and started kicking me. I shouted to the sepoys standing near him that they should bear witness to the fact that he was trying to kill me. Call the superintendent immediately. When I shouted these words, he shrank from going to the brutal extreme at that moment.
When the superintendent came, I reported the matter to him, but he did not listen to me and sidetracked the issue. Mr. Big became all the more ferociously brutal. The same evening, Mr. Big and his assistant, who was also an Englishman, came with a number of men to forcibly give me enema.
I spent the whole night in great mental agony. The next day they again started using force to knock me down. Even the jail superintendent was there with the whole of his staff. I asked him why was he stooping to such cruelty. The superintendent, a Hindu, threatened to inflict such indignities as may lead to the forced breaking of my religious vows. I asked him to fear God. The superintendent said that the British government was his God. I again said, "Has the British government allowed you to force man to abandon his religious principles? Is it not a tyranny worse than that of Aurangzeb?" The superintendent replied, "Is committing suicide a part of religion?" I said, "I have never contemplated suicide. Committing suicide is the greatest sin according to my religion. I went on fast only to maintain my religious vows. I am prepared to take milk, fruit, or any simple food like roasted grams. In other jails, my religious principles were respected by the prison authorities. You also must listen to me. I am prepared to take the simplest food within the limits of my religious vows. But you are bent upon committing outrageous acts to revile and desecrate my religious principles. But let me tell you that no one can compel me to break my religious vows. I will sacrifice my life for it."
I will survive on the sustenance of His divine name. I will not die. Do not torture me unnecessarily, and do not cause any indignity to any of my religious principles.
All my protests fell on deaf ears. They manacled my hands, and placing a stick in my mouth, pushed a long rubber tube down my throat into the stomach. They started force-feeding me with some milk. I controlled my psychic breath, prana shakti, and first suppressed it in the navel and then let it ascend it to the 10th seat of consciousness, the Turiya state, the highest state. But I had become very weak and could not take psychic breath to the highest consciousness under those tortuous circumstances. But as the prana shakti had gone higher than the navel and my breathing had stopped, they could not pump any milk inside. Without the breath going in and coming out, not a drop of water can be forced inside the stomach. Whatever milk was pushed in came out immediately. When they were tired of doing this without any success, they knocked my head against the floor, even before tearing out the rubber. I became unconscious, and my mouth was closed in a tight grip. The rubber broke into two.
The bottle of milk also broke in this scuffle. Some more milk was brought. An iron tube was also procured. As I was unconscious, the superintendent ordered that my teeth should be broken and the iron tube forced into my mouth. My teeth were broken. My jaws were torn open.
2 of my teeth from the side were forcibly broken. All these tortures were inflicted by Mr. Big, who sat on my chest and did all these inhuman deeds with his own hands. By forcing the iron tube down my throat, they succeeded in sending some milk into my stomach. It took them more than an hour and a half to do so. As soon as they were about to leave me alone, the milk was vomited out. My starving stomach found it difficult to retain it. I was then dragged by my beard and hair and kicked with shoes and given heavy-fisted blows. When I was almost half dead, they left me there in that miserable condition.
The next day, they again forced some dal soup down my throat. The third day, they brought soup of kosher meat and beef, and also some tobacco to cause the maximum injury to my religious sentiments. They told me that I should start eating food they ordered, otherwise all those things would be forced down my throat. They even threatened to shave off my hair and beard, and then I would be sent to a lunatic asylum. I have already written in other letters all that followed. A member of the Prison Supervision Committee came to me and asked me all that had happened. I told him about the threat of giving me soup of kosher meat and beef and forcing tobacco down my throat. I did not give him all the details of the tortures. The superintendent immediately denied the charge, and then when the inquiry officer went away, he begged me to save him. The jailer also fell at my feet and begged not to implicate him because he did everything on the orders of the superintendent. This letter was written by Bhai Sahib Randir Singh to Bhai Surjan Singh, who went all the way to Nagpur. With the help of Congress leaders of Nagpur, he was able to rouse public opinion against the prison authorities, as a result of which an inquiry was held. The sword that appeared and disappeared. It would not be out of place to mention an interesting incident here. When I was convinced that this wicked and depraved man, Dr. Jattar, would not hesitate doing the most heinous deed, and when the efforts of my friends like Bhai Mancha Singh and Bhai Santa Singh of Nagpur failed to change the mind of this cruel man, my mind was clouded with dark despair. Bhai Mancha Singh even offered 500 rupees to every person who could help me to get out of the prison unscathed. But all his efforts failed. The whole of Nagpur was seething with discontent of threats of agitation. The eminent patriot, Mr. Abhyankar, did his utmost to help me. I have never seen such a brave and fearless freedom fighter as the lovable soul Abhyankar. Patriots like him are indeed very rare. All my life I would remain greatly indebted to Bhai Mancha Singh and the brave Mr. Abhyankar. My blessings will ever be with them. It now became absolutely impossible to get any aid either from outside or from within the 4 walls of the prison.
The next day, I was to suffer intolerable indignities, and I had to do something to face it during the night. In the evening, I prayed to the all-knowing Satguru after my evening prayers, Rairas, to make available to me a sword to defend myself. I was prepared to fight unto death for my faith, and was determined not to let my religious principles suffer blasphemous insults. With the sword in my hands, I would not allow anyone to come near me, and if they attacked me with weapons, I was determined to use sword in self-defense and fight unto death. I was also lost in this prayer, and when it was over, I sat down, brooding over the things to come. Suddenly, an unknown man came stealthily and stood close to the prison bars. I had never seen him before.
With profound sympathy, he said in a whisper, "Ask for anything, and it shall be provided." I was at once tempted to ask for the sword. I felt that the Guru had answered my prayer. Unhesitatingly, he went back and came back in a matter of minutes with a sword. The sword was shining brilliantly in the moonlight. I felt overjoyed and inspired by the determination to die for my faith. The man put it back into the sheath and buried it in the mud floor just outside my cell, from where it could be taken out easily.
He asked me to take it out after the routine searching of my cell was over. With my worries over, I went to sleep. Some subtle pride had also overtaken me, as I felt that my prayer was at once answered. Instead of spending the night in thanksgiving and prayer, I slept peacefully and woke up only in the morning. Instead of sitting in meditation and prayer and setting my mind in true spiritual courage, as a real and perfect Sikh should always do, I started preparing for the battle against the tyrants, and my mind was completely diverted towards the difficult situation ahead. I made my mind to defend my faith with the sword and fight the oppressors as soon as they made any outrageous attack on the principles of my faith. My mind was now in very high spirit. All the depressing conditions through which I had passed disappeared. It was daybreak now. My cell was unlocked and searched superficially. They found nothing in my mattress and bed which they searched. As soon as they had gone, I made up my mind to take the sword out of the place where it was hidden, but the sword was not to be found there. I wondered who had taken away the sword. I covered the place with the earth. I was stunned and terribly shaken by this unexpected happening. I covered the whole hollowed place with earth and made it appear as the normal ground. What was ordained had happened, and it was no use brooding over it. In a matter of minutes, the prison authorities came and started force-feeding described in the letter above. 2 of my teeth were broken, and I was tortured and submitted to excruciating agony and insult. At night, when all was silent and cold, the same unknown man came to me and said, "When you were asleep, I took away the sword. This must have given you a shocking surprise."
After doing such a noble act as helping to get me the sword, why did you behave like a coward? Why did you show such timidity?
You may curse me or even kill me, but the inevitable has taken place. Good or bad, it has happened now, and it is my wife who persuaded me to do it. Ignorant man, is it wise to confide such secrets to women?
Unknown man, I tried my best but could not help telling her everything. Here is the whole story. Some unknown power compelled me to come to your aid, and I was proud of rendering the help you asked for and felt very happy about it. When I reached home, my wife had come to know that you were in serious trouble. She was very much upset and so terrified that she did not sleep at night. She was awake even on the night when I left the sword with you. Outside the prison, every man, woman, and child was talking about the cruelty and tortures to which you were submitted. Everyone was cursing and condemning the jail authorities. Everyone was shedding tears in helpless sympathy. My wife was also seriously upset ever since you were in trouble. When I reached home that night, she asked me, "Has anyone done anything to help that great patriot from distant land? Has anyone expressed concern for him? When I think of the tortures he is being made to undergo and unjust treatment he has yet to undergo, I cannot sleep. God alone knows how he will face the terrible ordeal tomorrow."
Unknown man, what else will happen? They will forcibly cause injury to his religious sentiments, and he will die for his faith.
Alas, alas, will they really force him to take beef soup?
Unknown man, something else will happen before they ever attempt to do such a thing.
Unknown man's wife. Can you not do something to save him from the terrible ordeal he might have to face? Oh, please do something for him, even at the cost of your life.
Even you have tried your best. Have you been able to do anything to save him?
Excellent. So you have done much. This should be the spirit. Unknown man's wife, you also should do something. In whatever way it is humanly possible, you must save this great and noble patriot from the calamity. For the freedom of our country, he has endured and suffered so much. Leaving his wife and children far away, he is now undergoing terrible suffering in the prison far away from his people. Even in the prison, he is fighting like a hero and has staked his very life for the sake of his faith. You must help him. Do help him at all cost. Whatever is possible must be done.
Unknown man addressing me. When my wife talked in such a brave tone and deep sympathy for you, I unconsciously blurted out what I had done. I told her what I had done. What else was possible under those difficult circumstances? When my wife came to know about the sword which I had left with you, she fainted. I poured some water into her mouth, and she regained some consciousness and said in a very loud voice, "You have committed a great blunder. That brave brother patriot will kill everyone, and as a reaction, not only will he be shot dead, but even we all who sympathize with him and have helped him will be done to death. There will be a bloodbath, and ultimately he also will be ruthlessly killed. He may be immediately hanged or shot dead. Had he lived, he might have served humanity in many ways. When I said that you must help, I meant that you must do your best to help him to escape. Both his life and faith could be protected that way. If he lived, he could serve the country in many ways. You have done a horrible thing. I am in great agony, and the very thought that there will be so much bloodshed has given me an unbearable shock. The very thought of the tragic spectacle is killing.
Please go there and get the sword before it is too late. Otherwise, I will kill myself. These words of my wife had a stunning effect on me. I quietly came to this place and took away the sword when you were asleep. Thank God I did so. It has all been for good. By now, there might have been terrible bloodshed here, and God alone knows what might have been the consequences.
So this matter ended here. I will close this story of torture and tyranny here, and will now relate some other events of Nagpur prison. After all the outrageous and humiliating acts of force-feeding, the prison authorities now started compelling us to wear prison uniforms meant for criminals. The jailer was already madly abusing the use of his authority, and now he had a new cause to annoy us and put us into trouble. He was determined to make his prisoners to wear prison uniform on this issue. He incited the assistant jailer, a British officer, and ordered him to forcibly undress me and take away my clothes. I warned the jailer that if Mr. Biggs attacked me again and tried to use force, I would teach him a lesson. I asked the jailer repeatedly to stop Mr. Biggs from using force, the results of which would be serious. I was determined to fight him back. I knew that there was not the slightest sense of justice left in British administration of the jails, and there was no alternative left
for us except to fight force with force and prevent cruelty and humiliation. So obstinate was this man that he refused to change his evil intentions till the fury of Chandi, a good beating, did not bring him to his senses.
Assistant Jailer Fined.
The next day the assistant jailer came, and the first thing he did was to give a kick to my earthen pitcher.
I picked up the pitcher and threw it at him. With a bang, it fell near his feet, and his clothes became wet with the water that splashed out of the broken pitcher. A few broken pieces of the pitcher also flew out and struck against his face, but he was not hurt and he did not receive any injury. The office of the superintendent was close by. Dragging his lame leg, he hurriedly came to the spot and asked what was the explosion about. "Have you thrown some bomb, Randir Singh?"
I cannot fulfill that request.
Superintendent, after seeing the broken pitcher, how is that your pitcher is broken, and who has broken it?
Ask your Gora white assistant. There he is standing like a jackal wet with the water of the pitcher.
Superintendent addressing the assistant jailer. Well, what happened?
Assistant jailer, you can see for yourself. He threw the earthen pitcher full of water at my chest, but I ran away and narrowly escaped.
Superintendent, how did your pant get wet?
Assistant jailer. He threw the pitcher full of water near my feet. The water made my pant wet, and the pieces of broken pitcher struck me.
Superintendent, on the one hand, you say that he aimed the water pitcher at your chest. On the other hand, you say that he threw it near your feet. Addressing me. Well, Randir Singh, did you throw the water pitcher at him? Did he say anything annoying to you?
I ask him what he did. He will tell you.
Superintendent addressing the assistant jailer. Did you speak to him roughly?
Assistant jailer. Not at all. I did not say anything.
Superintendent, you must have done something to annoy him. Do you think he is mad and he threw the pitcher of water at you without any rhyme or reason?
Assistant jailer, I did nothing to annoy him. My foot unconsciously touched the water pitcher. He picked it up and threw it at me.
The superintendent stared at me, signifying by his looks that he demanded an explanation from me. I requested him to ask the sentry on duty. He then stared at the sentry, demanding his version of the incident.
I, addressing the sentry, on oath of the deity you worship, tell the superintendent the truth and nothing but the truth.
Sentry. Sir, the truth is that the jailer sahib came straight to this place and knowingly kicked the water pitcher. Randir Singh threw the water pitcher at him, saying that it was of no use for him. He considered it a great insult that he should touch his drinking water with his shoes. So he angrily threw the water pitcher at him.
Superintendent addressing the assistant jailer. That is what you deserved. Thank God he did not throw the water pitcher on your head. You knowingly did this mischief. I asked you not to cause any new trouble, yet you have disobeyed me.
The superintendent immediately fined him ₹5, but did not say anything to me. This was the first instance that something was done in the spirit of justice. The superintendent had one significant quality, that is, he kept his subordinates firmly under his control. The jailer, who had been downgraded from the post of superintendent, feared him much. This sense of justice came to the mind of superintendent at some rare moments, but the jailer succeeded in misguiding him. On seeing the assistant jailer reprimanded and punished, the jailer was boiling with rage and was looking for an opportunity to avenge it. The jailer had given undue powers to his assistant, who treated his subordinates shabby, as a result of which he was disliked by all. The sepoys and the jemadars sympathized with my lot after the attempt of this jailer to give me beef soup during force feeding. A sentry was always posted near my cell to keep a watch on me. A new sentry was posted every 3 hours, sometime every 6 hours. Thus, they all knew me personally.
Fight with assistant jailer. One day, early in the morning, a sentry informed me that the jailer had ordered the assistant jailer to humiliate me by using force and violence, under the pretext of taking away the clothes I was wearing and replacing them by the dress given to ordinary prisoners. He told me that the assistant jailer would be coming while he was on duty and he would not attack me. The sentry said, "We, the Indian sentries, are all fed up of this man. If he comes and attacks, you can give him a good thrashing. We will not tell anyone." "You may change any moment and report or give evidence against me," replied the sentry. "I swear by the holy Ganges that I will never betray you, but if possible, will help you," said the sentry. At this moment, the jailer came there and said in a threatening tone in English, "We have been very lenient with you. Take off your clothes. We have been far too gentle with you," he shouted.
So today you have come with the determination to show your gentlemanliness, haven't you?
"Assistant jailer, do you take off your clothes or not? Or do you want to be forcibly stripped naked and suffer humiliation?"
No one dare humiliate or insult me as long as there is life in my body.
Assistant Jailer, have you not suffered humiliation enough?
It is those who tried to insult me who suffered humiliation. Both the superintendent and the jailer went down on their knees and begged forgiveness. They have suffered disgrace, and now it is your turn.
I was talking to the assistant jailer in English. He advanced towards me and lifted his hand to hold me by the throat. Pushing him away, behave like a human being and learn some human decency.
Assistant jailer, do you think that I am a beast?
Beasts are much better than you. They eat oil cakes and grass and give milk.
On hearing this, he flared up and tried to hold me by the beard. I gave him one blow on his jaws with my right hand, on the wrist of which I was wearing a heavy iron bangle. Holding him by the throat with the left hand, I gave him another severe blow, and holding his right hand with my own right hand, tightened my grip on his throat. His eyes were staring out, and the stranglehold on his throat made him groan for breath. He gave me a kick below the belly, which I avoided by stepping aside. With one hand on the throat and the other in between his legs, I lifted him up and threw him flat on the floor. Seating myself on him, I gave him blows right and left with my fists and knees. He lost his nerve and was breathing with difficulty. Then, in a pitiable tone, he cried out, "Well, Sardar Sahib, you also belong to a brave community, and I also belong to a brave nation. Let us be friends from today. Leave me and shake hands with me." He blurted out these words while he was getting severe blows from me.
You are a coward. Such a dastardly coward like you can never claim to be brave. Even to attribute the word brave to a person like you is to insult the word. I am not prepared to shake hands with you, and I consider it an insult and below my dignity to befriend you.
He was in the habit of terrorizing the prisoners, and now he was helplessly crying and cringing like a jackal. "What do you say, Sardar Sahib? I have not understood," he said. "What will I gain if you do understand? If you have not understood it even now, you are the greatest fool," I replied.
He then begged for mercy in the name of Christ and God. As soon as I started beating him, the sentry moved away into the courtyard. He did so to avoid being an eyewitness. If he was at all called as a witness, he would simply say that he was outside in the courtyard. He did not know anything about the row and scuffle that took place inside the prison. The white man was still lying on the floor under my tight grip when he nervously looked around and asked me, "Sardar Sahib, are you sure that the sentry did not see us?" "What if he has seen us? He will not rob me of anything," I said.
The assistant jailer nervously said, "Oh, he can of course do no harm to you, but I will be ruined. It is indeed a good thing if he has not seen us. It would mean a terrible humiliation for me. For God's sake, leave me now, and promise me that you will not tell anyone that you have trounced and spanked me so terribly. I will suffer great humiliation if you do. Please take pity on me and do at least this much for me. You are not prepared to shake hands with me, and you will not befriend me. For God's sake, pity my lot. You are a religious man and spend most of your time in prayer.
So I appeal to you in the name of God to spare me the humiliation I may have to suffer." On seeing him so frustrated and disconcerted, I let him go. He stood up and, humbly folding his hands, he again begged me to promise that I would not tell anyone of what had happened. After getting a good beating, he went away. The sentry came there when he had gone. He was very happy that the white man had been taught a lesson. I asked the sentry why was he so afraid of him. "Whether I fear him or not," he said, "I will never give evidence in his favor, not even if I have to lose my job." I told him that the assistant jailer himself feared lest the matter is not leaked out. He had taken a promise from me that I would not tell anyone. He appealed to me in the name of God to spare him further humiliation, so I advised the sentry to keep his mouth shut and not tell anyone. He was the only person who knew about it and had seen everything. The sentry was extremely happy to know this, and he laughed so heartily over it that he could not control his laughter for a long time.
Assistant jailer resigns.
After getting the terrible beating, the assistant jailer went straight to the superintendent and submitted his resignation, saying, "I do not wish to work here anymore."
Superintendent, any reason for resigning?
Assistant jailer. What other reason can there be? I am not prepared to serve on such a tough job.
Superintendent, you better take up only office work. What is tough in it?
Assistant jailer, you are excessively cruel to the Sikhs. You sit and command and have all cruelty perpetuated through me. All they want is their legitimate rights. In all the jails, they have been treated as political prisoners, and now in this jail, I have been made the instrument of the authorities to treat them in an excessively cruel manner. Do not do anything, but you order me to do it. So I am going to resign. I am neither prepared to have any hand in inhuman treatment of the Sikh prisoners, nor can I tolerate the very sight of it now. So please accept my resignation. In my resignation, I have given 15 days' notice, after which I will leave the job without informing anyone. But I am not prepared to see the prisoners under me treated so cruelly. Why don't you permit them the clothes, turban and kacha, which have been sanctioned by the Punjab government by law, and their religious sentiments demand it? They will not wear the cheap underwears and coarse turbans spun and prepared in the jail. As prison officer in charge of the prisoners, I strongly recommended that they should be given all facilities allowed to political prisoners. They are imperial prisoners because they have waged war against the King Emperor under Section 121.
They should be treated exactly as we have been treating German war prisoners. Thus, the assistant jailer spoke very strongly in favor of better treatment for us. Although I did not accept his hand of friendship, but by word and deed he proved to be a real friend, and was true to his promise. Although he extended his hand of friendship under duress, but he showed it by his deed that he had become a true friend. After this, we encountered very little trouble about the permission to wear turbans and kach, Sikh shorts. We were allowed to color our turbans in navy blue color. We also got the kach stitched as we liked and never used the striped cloth made in prison for it. Bhai Kartar Singh was once more lodged near me.
He recited the Sukhmani from memory, and once more I enjoyed the heavenly spiritual flights of meditation and prayer. Our friendship and spiritual relations deepened. These were indeed the golden days of spiritual exaltation. As soon as I remember the bliss and joy of those golden days of spiritual enlightenment, I feel very happy. Unfortunately, I did not have any notebook to keep a record of the wonderful events of this period, nor did I get any opportunity to write any letter from the jail about the events of those days. Now I remember only some events. The memory of those days has faded a good deal. Now I have to scrape up my memory and write about a few important events. The prison letters did not contain the whole story of our life in prison. Whatever I remember now, I am recording for the benefit of friends. My friend Bhai Kartar Singh remembers a lot. His memory is very sharp. I am giving you the gist of important events.
As long as this wicked superintendent was there were always some protest marches. He did not give us any breathing time. He was always up to some mischief or the other.
Books seized.
The physical tortures sharpened my moral powers and exalted me spiritually. Each arrow of agony deepened my feelings and helped me in my efforts to achieve the highest spiritual realization. And once I sat absorbed in mystic meditation, no one could disturb me. Even if I was skinned alive, the fearless stance acquired could not be shaken out of this mental and spiritual poise. This lame doctor, the superintendent, only completed the revenge of an old score of his last birth, as was graciously revealed to me in my vision by the Lord in Rajamundry prison.
Whatever excessive tortures he inflicted will fall on his head, and he shall have to suffer for them for many births. It was in his nature to continue to think of some novel ways of doing mischief and causing injury. When all his plans and evil designs were defeated in their purpose, he took away our books and manuscripts of some books I had written. We lodged many reports against this ugly step he had taken, but he did not return our books and manuscripts. Whenever a non-official visitor came to see us, he would agree to return the books, but would not do so when they were gone. 6 years passed in this way. Ultimately, Bhai Kartar Singh threatened to take dire action when the Inspector General of Prisons came on his next visit, but he still disregarded the threat. He then told us that he had burned all the books. We then took him to task and threatened to take legal action against him for burning our prayer books. He then took out all the books and showed us that they were safe. He did not return them to us, but ordered that they should be given to us when we are either released or transferred to some other prison.